All right, let's try to finish up this 3-1. Let's do a quick review. I'm using a new graphics tablet here, so we'll see how that works. I got to get used to it. It acts a little different than the other one. But I was having trouble with the other one. It was really messing up yesterday. So I bought it. I went to Amazon last night. I think I ordered it like 9 o'clock at night or something like that. And I got it by 5 o'clock this morning. They delivered it. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. What's that? Well, I got Amazon Prime. Yeah. And so, but they hardly ever come that quick. But I was amazed. I really didn't expect it until over the weekend. All right, so here we go. Let's review just briefly. So the title of this lesson is what? Parallel lines, right? That's what we're talking about here. We talked a lot yesterday about transversals, and at the very end, we started talking about parallel lines. So, are those two lines parallel right there? We don't know. That's the answer. Okay, we don't know until they do this. Okay? If they did that, now, are those lines parallel? Yes, they are. Okay? If they don't put those arrows there, all right, you don't know. It doesn't mean they're not parallel, you just don't know. All right? And if you want, I'll put arrows on the ends. And I might as well put an arrow on the end of this. All right, enough of that. Let's go up here, change colors, and let's talk a little bit about some of these things. We'll number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so here we go. So there are some things that we know. Can somebody get the door, please? There are some things that we know about these angles. There's a lot of things that we can say about these angles. All right, let's just take this one up top here, this angle 1. There's a lot of things that are equal to angle 1. All right? What's the first one? Before we even talked about parallel lines, we talked about two lines that intersected each other. Do you remember that? Remember we talked about a line? No, we don't have a transversal here. Vertical angles. Vertical angles. Remember that? And we said 1 and 2. Whoever's clicking the pen, please stop. Thank you. So, seems like this tablet, I'm writing a lot smaller than I used to on the other one. I'm going to have to get used to that. Anyway, so there's a 1 and a 2. What do we call these? We call them what? Vertical angles. And what's true about vertical angles? They are what? They're equal to each other. So 1 and 2 are equal. Let's go back to this. What's equal to angle 1 because of vertical angles? What is it? 1 and 4. Very good. Angle 1 equals angle 4 because of vertical angles. All right? So let's write all the stuff we know about angle 1. So angle 1 is equal to, angle 4. What else is angle 1 equal to? 5. Why? Give me a reason. I can't hear you. Your hands in front of your face. It's not because they're obtuse angles. Is every single obtuse angle equal to each other? We add some names. We add a bunch of names. Okay, whatever's going on here needs to stop. I need you paying attention. What is going on with angle 1 and 5? What's the relationship? We add a name. Look in your notes. They're corresponding angles. Okay, it's right in your notes. It's probably right there. Maybe you have to flip back a page. All right, it should be right in your notes if you took notes. Seems like I'm not getting everybody's attention here. Austin, what's going on? You need a pencil? Does anybody have a pencil that Austin can use? A pen or pencil so he can take notes? How do you come to school without something to write with? I mean, that's what you do in school, isn't it? All right, enough of that. Let me continue. All right, I'm tired of the nonsense. I watched this video on Facebook today about this teacher, and it was kind of like a little comedy sketch thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my life. And you guys are proving it. Man, if I had a video on you guys, all the stuff that's going on just in the last 10 minutes, all right, it's exactly like that video that I watched today. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to wait until you guys are ready. So angle 1 is equal to angle 4. Angle 1 is also equal to angle what? This doesn't go all the way. There it goes. Angle 5. What's my reason, though? What's the reason for it being equal to angle 4? Because of vertical angles. Wow, I'm writing really small now with this new thing. I gotta fix that. All right. Why is angle 1 equal to angle 5? They're corresponding angles. Okay, I'll just shorten it, okay, because of corresponding angles. Donnell, if you don't stop clicking that pen, I'm going to take it, I'm going to throw it away. Is it you? Or is it Ben? Is it Ben? Is whoever's clicking? Whoever's clicking. I understand. I just said, whoever's clicking, okay? Whoever's clicking needs to stop. My word, this is outrageous. So 1 and 4 are equal because they're vertical angles. 1's equal to 5 because they're vertical angles. Okay, I'll tell you what, let me do this. Instead of circling these things, let's do this. How do I show that angles are equal to each other? Oops. Yeah, an arc. Okay, draw a little arc. Okay, so we said that 1 and 4 are equal, so I'll put a little arc here and here. Everybody good? And we said 1 and 5 is equal. So if angle 1 has one arc, what's angle 5 have if it's equal to angle 1? It has one arc. Okay? Everybody with me? All right. What else is equal to angle 1? So 1 is equal to 5 because there's corresponding angles. 1's equal to 4 because they're vertical angles. What else is angle 1 equal to? Do you remember 8? Why is it 8? Alternate what? Exterior. They're alternate exterior angles. Okay? Everybody see that? So that's equal to, oops. I'll probably be saying this all day, but I just got to get used to this new tablet. I know it's going to be better. It better be better. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have here. Somebody earlier said that, I don't know, 1 and 5 were equal or something like that because they are obtuse angles. Now, they're not equal because they're obtuse angles. Okay, they're equal. 1 and 5 are equal because they're corresponding angles. All right, so if I have parallel lines, the corresponding angles are equal to each other. All right, but I want you to look at 1, 4, 5, and 8. What type of angles are every single one of those? They're obtuse, aren't they? Okay, so in this situation, every single obtuse angle is what? We just said it. Okay. Listen to what I just said. I'm like hand delivering this to you, okay? Follow my line of logic here, okay? Everybody listen. I said that 1 equals 4 equals 5 equals 8. So they're all obtuse angles. So what must be true in this situation with all the obtuse angles? They must be equal. There you go. See? It's not that hard if you're listening to follow my logic here. Would you agree? All right, so all these obtuse angles are equal to each other. All right, so if I needed to know what's true about 1 and 8, if I forgot that whole alternate exterior angle thing, I could look at it and say, oh, that's obtuse, that's obtuse. So in this situation, when I have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, all the obtuse angles will be equal to each other. What does that tell you about all the acute angles? They're all going to be the same as well. So watch. Angle 2 is going to equal what? Angle 3. Why? Give me a reason. It's not because they're acute. Okay, there's a difference saying that they're equal to each other because they are acute and saying all the acute angles are equal to each other. All right? They're equal to each other. 2 and 3 are equal to each other for what reason? No, not 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are not corresponding. We just went through this. Come on, guys, follow me, all right? It's not that hard. We did it already. What's true about 2 and 3? They're what kind of angles? It's even up there on the screen. It even says it. 2 and 3, what are they? What's 1 and 2 to each other? They're not corresponding. I just said that. They are not corresponding. You're getting me frustrated. Look. 1 and 4 are equal to each other because they're what kind of angles? They're vertical angles. What's true about 2 and 3? They're vertical angles, okay? So they're equal to each other, all right? Oh, you guys are frustrating. All right, so 2 and 3 are vertical angles. That must mean they are what? Equal to each other. All right. So look at 2 and something else. 2 and 6. What's true about 2 and 6?
They're equal.
Why are they equal? We just went through it with the yellow ones. Now we're doing it with the green ones. They're corresponding angles. Yes. 2 and 6 are equal because they're corresponding angles. And anytime you have 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal, the corresponding angles will always be equal to each other. What else is equal to angle 2? 7. Why? Give me a reason. They're alternate exterior angles. That's correct. The alternate exterior angles are... Oh, come on. There we go. I don't know if I'm going to like this new pad or not, but anyway. 2 and 7, they're equal to each other because they're now you got me saying it, because they're alternate exterior angles, okay? Check this out. What about 3 and 6? They both have 2 arcs, so they must be equal to each other, okay? They're alternate interior angles. Very good. Now you're catching on. Okay, what about 4 and 5? What are they? They're equal to each other because they are alternate interior angles. And we had things yesterday that we said, if they're alternate, if you have 2 lines cut by a transversal, which we have right here, then the alternate interior angles are equal to each other. Okay? Look at all the ones I marked in green, all the double arc ones. What kind of angle are all 4 of those? What kind of angle? They're acute, right? So all the acute angles are what? Equal to each other. Now, tell me something about, let's go blue. Tell me something about angle 4 and angle 6. They're very good. You got it. They're consecutive interior angles. All right, so this is the one that's different than all the other ones. Let's list the other ones. It's in your notes. The corresponding angles are all equal to each other, correct? The alternate interior angles are all equal to each other. The alternate exterior angles are all equal to each other. What's the one type of angle that we discussed yesterday that are not equal to each other? Malik already said it. The consecutive interior angles. 4 and 6 are consecutive. Let's write it down. They're consecutive interior angles. What's true about consecutive interior angles? Are they equal to each other? No, they're not. Because look, that's obtuse and that's acute. There's no way that they're going to be equal to each other. But there is a relationship. There is something that we know about the consecutive interior angles. And what are they? What's the relationship? Look in your notes. No, they are not the same. I just finished saying that they are not equal to each other. So why would you say that they're the same? I'll tell you what, if anybody outside of this class is watching this on YouTube, I apologize. I'm being a little bit nasty today, but you're not listening, okay? I just said that they are not equal to each other, and then I said, what's the relationship? And you said they're the same. I just said they're not equal. What is the relationship? Look in your notes. Did anybody take notes yesterday? Yes. They're called consecutive interior angles, but what's the relationship? They're supplementary. Thank you. Io took notes yesterday. Thank you so much for bailing me out here. Well, look at them then. Okay, if you say you took them, it should be right in front of you. What does that mean, to be supplementary? That means they do what? No, they don't multiply.
They're in the same spot.
They're not in the same spot.
They're interior. The same spot.
I'm losing all hope for you guys. Look at your notes. I got it in your notes. It's in your notes. Did you look in your notes? They're not equal. That's true. You're very true. They're not equal. But what's the relationship? There is something that's true about them. Look in your notes. What's it say? Oh, my word. They add up to be 180. Is that not in your notes? It is. Okay, I could bring up the YouTube video from yesterday and show you. All right. I don't know why that was that difficult. Now, I don't expect you to memorize it maybe like the very day after we taught it, okay? I mean, I'm not expecting that, but I am expecting you to be able to open your notes and see what you wrote down from what I wrote down up here on the screen, right? And that should be in your notes. Somebody tell me that that was in their notes.
That was in the notes.
Was it? Okay. All right.
But it was different numbers.
Yeah, I know. But we did talk about consecutive interior angles. We said they're supplementary, and we said that they add up to 180. Just because I didn't use angle 4 and angle 6, okay, shouldn't make any difference. What's true about 3 and 5? Angle 3 and 5.
Oh my God, they're consecutive.
Thank you, Malik. Oh my.
And they both add up to 180.
They add up to 180. That's right. They're consecutive interior angles, and they add up to 180. So look, anytime you have an obtuse angle and an acute angle, they can't be equal to each other. So what do? They add up. Talk to me.
They add up to 180.
They add up to be 180. Okay, they add up to be 180. Now look at angle 1 and 6. We don't really have like a name for them. Okay, we didn't specify any kind of relationship between angle 1 and angle 6. They're not alternate exterior angles because 6 is interior. They're not alternate interior angles because 1's exterior, all right? And they're really not consecutive interior angles. But since this one is obtuse and this one is acute, what's true about angle 1 and angle 6? And don't say they're equal to each other. Angle 1 and angle 6. What's the relationship between them? This is what I mean by the relationship. They either equal each other or they add up to something. So they add up to 180. All right? So 1 and 6. Anytime you have an obtuse angle and an acute angle in this situation, that doesn't mean in general in the world, okay? That just means in this situation, when you have two parallel lines cut by transversal, the obtuse angles will all equal each other. The acute angles will all equal each other. And the obtuse and the acute will do what? They'll add up to be 180. And what word do we use when we say that two things add up to be 180? No. What word do we use? It's right there. It's right in front of you. It's on the screen. And some of you guys aren't watching. I even forget what my question is because I'm so worried about you looking up here and paying attention. So what was I don't even remember what my question was. Anyway, let's move on. It's a lost cause. So, isn't that terrible for a teacher to say it's a lost cause? It's really not a lost cause, but I'm just getting too frustrated. I need to move on. All right, well, watch the video. I tried to help you out. So let's do another thing. It's very, very similar to what we just finished doing, but it's a little bit more specific. Now, these are parallel lines, so I'll put a little arrow here and a little arrow there. And then let's do this. This is a transversal, but it's not just any old transversal. Let me try that again. There we go. It's not just any old transversal, okay? Look at how they meet each other. What do you think? What does it just look like? Now, we don't know for sure the way it's written right now, but what does it look like is true about that red one and this white one? What angle does it form? It's a right angle. That's correct. Now, you don't know without me telling you, but if I put a little box there, then you know that that's true. Now, let me ask you this. If this transversal, what's the word we use for two things coming together at a right angle? We have a word for it. Okay, I'm going to stop asking questions because you're disappointing me like you wouldn't believe. They're perpendicular, okay? If two lines meet each other at a right angle, they're perpendicular to each other. We've discussed this. You should know that. You should have just told me right away. I mean, that's something that you have to know. You've got to know that word, perpendicular. Okay, so if this red one is perpendicular to the first parallel line, now these have to be parallel for this to be true, but if this is perpendicular to the first one, what kind of angle do you think, just by guessing, what kind of angle do you think this is going to be right here? This is going to be a right angle as well. Well, let's figure out why. Look at this angle. We'll call it angle 1. Let's call this angle 2 right here. What's the relationship between this angle? This is in the top right. This is in the top right. What's the name? What's the name of the relationship between them? Remember, we got all those different words. We got like 4 of them that we talked about. So what are they? This is in the top right. This is in the top right. They're in the same place. So they do what to each other? They correspond to each other. I'll just answer my own questions. All right, I'm so mean today. I don't know why. I don't know. Sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't be like that being a teacher, but you just drive me to it. So look, if this is a right angle, then this is a right angle. Why? Because they are corresponding angles. And what's true about corresponding angles? They're what to each other? They're equal to each other. Okay, so if this angle is 90, then this one has to be what? 90. All right. So they have their own theorem. I'm not even going to read what it says. Right there is good enough. So if you got parallel lines cut by transversal, and the first one is 90 degrees, then this is going to be 90 degrees. What's this angle right here? We'll call this angle 3. What's that angle going to be? It's going to be a right angle as well, because look, if that's 90, what's this going to be? 90, because those two add up to 180, right? 180 minus 90 is 90. All right, let's do an example and we'll be done. Just cracks me up. I had all kinds of people begging me for extra credit, all whining about their grades. I heard from a teacher yesterday, it wasn't this class, but I heard from a teacher that told me yesterday that one of my classes was whining about my test and it was too hard, and like, oh, I always get 8. I just said it. It wasn't you. You don't have to tell me that. I just said it wasn't you guys. You do it on purpose? Right, because you're not listening. All right, I'm not going to tell any stories. Let's just move on. I hope I feel better on Monday. I'll tell you what, let's move that one up a little bit. Oops, didn't want to do that. Let's click off of it. There we go. So it's not just me? Yeah, well, I should start doing that, really. It'd make everybody else happy. It'd make me happy. All right, here we go. Here's our picture. Now, what do you think might be true about those 2 white lines? We don't know yet, but if I let's make it white. But they are parallel. And so I'm going to put the little arrows there. Remember, you cannot work under the assumption that they are parallel until they tell you that they're parallel. All right? We're actually going to do another lesson. I think it's the very next lesson where we're going to figure out if they're actually parallel or not. But that's for another day. So let me put some numbers in here. Let's say this is angle 5. This is 6. This is 1. This is 2, 3, 4. All right. And they call this, we'll put the arrows on the ends. They call this, we'll call this line B and C. All right. So remember, we can name a line with just one letter if it's a lowercase letter. So this is B, that's C, this red one is A, and the yellow one is D. All right. So here's what they tell you. Now, they tell you something about angle 1. I'm going to put it right here. They tell you that angle 1, they don't tell you like it's 30 degrees or 50 degrees or something like that. They give it to you in terms of letters, variables. So they say it's 7y minus, let's make that minus a little bit bigger, minus 15 degrees. So guess what we're going to eventually do? We're going to do some what? Algebra. That's right. I told you from the very beginning that we're going to do it all year long. We're going to do algebra all year. That's why we did all that. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. So what I want to do, I want to find all the angles. I want to find angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to find all 6 of those angles. And this is what they give us right here. Okay? So let's take a look. Is there a relationship between 1 and 2? Are they corresponding angles? They are not, okay? They are not corresponding angles. I could say something about angle 1, though. What's angle 1 equal to down here? No, down here. Down here, which angle? It's 4. And if you look at it, look, this is an acute angle. How can you say 3? Because look, again, I'm trying to be nice. Okay. Stop. I can think the stuff in my head. I shouldn't say it out loud, right? Okay, that's what I should do. Even me. I'm almost 60 years old, and I got to remind myself that. So look, angle 1 and angle 3, there's no way they're equal to each other. Tell me why there's no way they're equal to each other. Because this is acute, and this is obtuse. So there's no way that 1 and 3 are equal to each other. Agreed? But 1 and 4, are they equal to each other? They are, because they are corresponding angles. All right? They're corresponding angles. Forget the yellow line right now. Just look at the 2 parallel lines. Look at the transversal. This is on the bottom right. This is on the bottom right. So 1 and 4 are equal to each other. Yes? All right. But I don't have 1 and 4 over here, but I do have 2, don't I? What's the relationship? I'm going to put 2 arcs for that one. What's the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2? How do they work out? Are they equal to each other? Do they do something else? What? We only talked about 2 things already. Now, there's no word for it. This is interior, that's exterior. There's no relationship. That's why I did what I did earlier, okay? But you can say something about them, though. This is acute, this is obtuse. What did we say when you have an acute angle and an obtuse angle? They add up to 180. That's right. Okay, so what can I do with angle 1 and angle 2? Do I set them equal to each other? Are they equal? No, they're not. What do they do, though? They add up to be 180. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go 7y minus 15. Then what am I going to do with that and this? Add. Then this thing right here. I'm going to put a 10, a parentheses, y plus 11. Now, they add up. But what do they add up to be? They add up to be 180 degrees. All right? So angle 1 and 2, look at it. This is the geometry. All the geometry is just recognizing that angle 1 and angle 2 add up to 180 degrees. That's your geometry. The rest is just all math. All right? So now what we're going to do is we're just going to do some algebra. We added them up, right? I took this angle 1, I took this angle 2, I added them up, and I set them equal to 180 degrees. Now I just do my math. So let's do it. 7y minus 15 plus, what am I going to do with this 10 in this parentheses? Give me a good math word. Distribute, that's right. So what do I get? I get 10y. It's 11 times 10, which is 110, very good. And that equals what? 180. Okay? Let's add like terms. I'm not going to take a lot of time just explaining all these steps. Just do them quickly. 7y plus 10y is 17y. Now, negative 15 plus 110, that's 95. So plus 90, plus 95. That equals 180. Now what do we do? Subtract 95. Okay, that cancels. 17y equals, and what is that? 175? 85. Divide by 17. I don't know that off the top of my head either, but I did take notes on it, and it's 5. It comes out to 5. Is that my answer? Is that what they're looking for? Nope. Okay, but I should now be able to find angle 1 and angle 2. What did I say y was? It's down on the end of the screen, so I can't see. It's y equals 5. So let's find angle 1. Because what does the problem ask you to do? It says find all the numbered angles, okay? Find angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So once I find y, now I can find angle 1. Agreed? So let's do it. So I don't know where you want to do that. Right here? So angle 1 is 7 times 5 minus 15. 7 times 5 is 35 minus 15 is, it's 20. So angle 1 is how much? Do that in a different color. So angle 1 is 20 degrees. Now watch. Once you find one of the angles, all the other ones should really just fall into place. Okay? So let's find angle 4. I know you want to find angle 2, but let's find angle 4. What's angle 4 going to be if angle 1 is 20? It's going to be 20 degrees because they are corresponding angles. They're equal to each other. Okay? What's angle 2 going to be now? 160. How'd you get that really easy? You could have plugged it into this, right? But it's a lot easier to do what? Just, that's right, 180 minus what? 20, which is 160. So this angle 2 right here is 160 degrees. What's angle 3 then? Really easy. That's 160 as well, right? Because they're equal to each other. Yeah? Okay. Now, we got to do something else. Let's go to the yellow one now. I didn't tell you this because we weren't ready for it, but now we're ready for it. They tell you that they do this. I should have put that right at the very beginning. They say that's a right angle right there. So that means, what is this angle right here? No, this one right here. That's a right angle as well, isn't it? So what's angle 5 without doing any math? It's a right angle, so it's 90 degrees. So angle 5 is 90 degrees. How do I find angle 6? Subtract what from what? Is it 180? No, because look at 1 and 6. Look at angle 1 and 6. They don't make a straight line. What do they form? 1 and 6 together form a what kind of an angle? A right angle. Very good. All right, so 1 and 6 add up to be what? 90. I know angle 1. That's it. 90 minus what? 20, which is 70. All right, so angle 6 is 70 degrees. There's your answer. There's angle 5, there's angle 6, angle 2, angle 4, angle 3, angle 1. And there are all the angles that you have to find. This is absolutely something that you're going to be doing on a quiz or a test. Okay? This is geometry. This is like geometry in a nutshell. This is kind of what we're going to be doing the rest of the year. We take these geometry principles, we realize what's equal to what adds up to what. All right? And then you put them together. Usually, not all the time, but a lot of times they put some algebra in here, put some letters, right? And so sometimes you set them equal to each other. Sometimes you add them up and set them equal to 180. Sometimes you add them up and you set them equal to 90. All right? There's all kinds of things you could do. All right? You have to know what you're supposed to be doing because you need to know the relationship between all of them. Some of you guys are not getting your alternate interior angles, your corresponding angles. You have to know that. On a quiz and a test, you're going to have to know what's true about the alternate interior angles. What is true about them? If you have two parallel lines cut by transversal, what's true about the alternate interior angles? They are what to each other? Just going to pound my head against this brick wall right here. Alternate interior angles are what? I heard it. I heard one person say it. They're equal to each other, okay? So alternate interior angles are equal. What's true about corresponding angles? What's true about them? They're equal. What's true about alternate exterior angles? No. Alternate exterior angles are equal to each other. What about consecutive interior angles? They add up to 180 or they are what? What's the word? S. Supplementary. Very good. You have to know those. All right? It's going to be on a quiz. I think it's the first couple questions or maybe the first question or whatever it is. Okay, on the quiz, I think. Well, eventually we'll take a quiz. Yeah. Okay, we always take quizzes. But eventually, when we get to it, I think that's going to be the first question on the first quiz. So you got to know those things. You have to. So you got to study it. All right? You can study your notes if you took notes. If you didn't take notes, then watch the video and take notes on the video. Don't just sit there and just watch it. It's not like a TV show. It's interactive. All right? Whatever I put in the notes, you should be writing down. Everybody got that? Okay. Enough said. We got some homework. So your homework is section 3.1. It's page 111. And It's numbers 1 to 21. Let me make sure that this is what I put on your lesson plan. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Actually, I'm going to go, instead of 1, let's go 8 to 21 instead of 1. I had 1 to 21 in my notes, but on the lesson plan, I revised it and made it 8 to 21. It's really sloppy. So 8 to 21, that's your homework, and that is due on Monday. What? What?
Will this homework go on our
No.
first market period?
It's due on Monday. Today is the last day of the marking period. This is due on Monday, so this is not on this marking period. Today is the last day. I'm not collecting it today. I'm collecting it Monday. So it's not. It's on the second marking period. We are finished the first marking period. Okay, enough of that. Make sure that's finished. Make sure you work on them, okay? I mean, put some time and effort into it. Don't just write down a bunch of slop just to get credit for doing something on your homework, okay? Really try it. You know you got the odd answers in the back, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay? Don't just flip to the back and then write that answer down, okay? You do the problem first, and then you can flip to the back and see if you got it right. Some guys aren't even paying attention to me at all. I sure hope it's different on Monday. We'll see.